We're like,
Hi there. Hey there. Oh there. We're as happy as can be. We're back again.
Such professionals.
Another
3-ball walk. This is the show.
3-ball walk.
3-ball walk. You sure that's the show, Bob?
Bob, Eddie,
Yes.
Julio, and we're all here.
We are
I feel
a
like
mess
I'm
today.
so. Am I way back?
You're way back.
You're way back. You should probably move up
should
just a
come
little
up a
bit
little
in the
bit.
seat. There you go.
How you guys doing today? Hey, baseball, another week, and start off with junior college. We touched on it last week, and it's kind of interesting. And we were talking about Johnny Wiggs and the job he's doing at Santa Fe College and whatnot.
Yeah, for those who don't know, that's in Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville, Florida. We got the Gators, all the new freshmen, the #1 recruiting class in the country coming in, which is, you add that to a team that
Went to the College World Series.
went to the College World Series. I mean, we'll see what happens. So let's see what happens with that. So it's kind of exciting and everything like that. But Johnny Wiggs, the coach at Santa Fe, and you were saying good guy and doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The hottest hitter in baseball right now, Malik Smith. I mean, he is just flat out raking Santa Fe product. Okay. Second in Major League Baseball in batting. Okay. And then on top of that one, you've got Yarborough, pitcher, another Santa Fe product, who's like tied for 11th in the Major League in wins.
Wow.
Junior college, is that, and I know, you got to be D1 and whatever. I mean,
I don't think
there's
so.
a lot of players coming out of JUCO now.
We talked about this before, and a good reason why is because you can get drafted before you turn 21. So you're a high school prospect, say, and you, for whatever reason, you have a bad year, your arm's injured or something, and you're like, the scouts are like, well, we don't know if you're going to come back, so we're not going to take you as high as we would have. So, okay, you're not going to draft me in the first 3 rounds. Suddenly now I'm a 15th or 16th round draft pick. Well, I could still probably go and play for the D1 scholarship that offered me a scholarship, but in that case then I can't sign until I'm 21.
Until you're a junior, after
Or
3
junior.
years.
Right.
Unless you're Alex Fernandez. You remember, you don't remember that one?
No, but then fill in the rest of my thought, and then you can.
And then I'll complete, yeah.
But if I'm like, okay, and the scouts are like, well, if you have a good year next year, then we would assign you. If you would have one more year, then you say, okay, I'll go to junior college route. You find a junior college coach that'll take you, and you sign the junior college route, and then the next April you're eligible for the draft again. And if you've had a good year, you've proven that you're healthy, you come back, then all of a sudden now you're a 1st through 3rd round pick. It's like you would have been out of high school. So I think that a lot of talented people do that, as well as go to the Division I route.
And what about players who maybe don't have the grades to get into a Division I school?
That's true too.
I mean,
But there are a lot of Division I schools where grades are not that important.
Right.
I mean, most time you can get in, but with baseball only having 12.3 or whatever the ridiculous number of scholarships is, whoever thought of a .3 scholarship? And the rules the way they are, sometimes it's also guys can't afford to go to school, so they end up going the JUCO route because they can stay at home and play and make it that way, and then get a chance to be drafted again.
Yeah. It's 12.7.
Oh, it went up 0.4?
No, it's always been that.
Okay.
So
It
why
was actually-
is that? I mean,
Well, because it used to be actually 11.7. It used to be 13.
okay.
And then about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, the NCAA did a 10% scholarship cut across the board. So basically your 80 football scholarships became 72.
Right.
Your 13 baseball scholarships became 11.7 because you took away 1.3.
And you used to be able to manipulate those numbers, but now there's a certain percentage if you give one, every player has to get a certain percentage.
Yeah. So, but no, I remember watching Alex Fernandez pitch for the University of Miami here as a freshman. Absolute stud. The Gators wound up 0-0. They pulled him in the 9th inning, and in the bottom of the 9th, I can't remember who it was. Ryan Sheely. It was way back.
Wow, that's a name from the past.
Actually, there's a Ryan Healy now that's tearing up baseball, and I'm like, is this the same? Nope. Sheely Healy, but hits a 9th inning walk off home run, not off Alex, but Alex wound up the following year transferring to Miami-Dade.
Wow.
I'd never seen anyone do that. And then basically,
So he could get drafted.
and then he got drafted after his sophomore year. If he would have stayed at Miami, he would have had to play 2 more years.
Yeah.
So you don't remember? No,
No, I don't. But
one
that-
year,
I'm
one
sure
year
they-
at UM, and he was a stud.
I'm sure they
You
made
know,
some
All-American.
rule against that at that point then. And they won't call it the Alex Fernandez rule, but it will.
Why, you can't transfer to JUCOs?
I don't know. I mean,
I doubt. No, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to.
I would bet that there is some stipulation. We'd have to look that up. We'll have to look that up if there's a stipulation that if you sign with a D1 school now and you go back to junior college, you still have to wait till you're 20.
Then what would you do after you'd have to go to another
Independently.
another 4-year school?
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't imagine that that's a way that you can get around that now. Or so many
Well,
people
I mean,
would.
they're concerned about you go back, you get
But
your
here's
AA.
here's the other part of that right now. Okay, college baseball, especially the major programs for Division One, where guys that really have talent like Alex would be, has gotten to the point where I think, and talking and reading some things, that it's more profitable for them to go to school than it is to play minor league baseball.
Oftentimes it is.
Yeah.
And the living conditions and the travel conditions
Are better
are
in college.
better in college than they are.
And the growing up. I mean, you're not, you're only 18. You can't get into bars. You're playing with 21, 22,
well, you
23
shouldn't get
year
into
olds.
bars, but we all know that you can get into bars. If you live in a college town, you shouldn't be able to get into a bar, but surely the bars are not that populated by guys who are 20 and 21 and 22 years old. I'm just saying, there is a possibility that there are these things called fake IDs that people get.
So
I've read about
So
that.
roster, deciding to get in, deciding to get drafted, trade deadline already a month. Our trade deadline expert right here, but there's still wheeling and dealings going.
Yeah,
on.
if Expire clears waivers, you can deal him. And Daniel Murphy is now with the Cubs.
When did he go with the Cubs? I've been out of.
Two
I've been
days,
out
two
of
days
pocket.
ago,
No,
yesterday.
The Nationals had a fire sale.
They're having a fire sale.
Really?
Bryce Harper was cleared waivers. The Dodgers picked him up. It was revocable waivers though, and Bryce Harper was picked up by the Dodgers.
They
and there was
couldn't
no
work a
They
deal,
didn't
so
work
they
a
pulled him off waivers.
But Andrew McCutcheon's on revocable
Wow.
waivers right now. He'll be dealt, I think, before the end of the month. There'll be some definitely.
But Murphy, they got rid. The Nationals got rid of two.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. It's still interesting to see what's. It's going to be with all the pennant races and the way all the jockeying is happening now, which we talk about.
I'll tell you the most
half hour,
unbelievable
15
thing, and we talked about it, where the Astros, the Yankees, and the Red Sox were all battling for the best record in baseball, and it would be two, and all of a sudden, the 5 games out, and the Red Sox put that 4-game sweep on New York and pushed them to 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
The Astros went on their little swoon and everything like that, and now you basically have the Astros right here, tied with Oakland, okay, and those two teams are also tied for the second wild card spot, 3.5 games behind
New York.
the Yankees. So the Astros are basically not half a game out of dropping out of first place, but half a game out of dropping out of the playoffs altogether. Because you're gonna, and the Yankees, 3.5 games out of not even being there either. And they get, which I was saying to Eddie, and this isn't a rant or anything like that, but after watching the game I watched last night, okay, where the Marlins had first and third with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th, they had bases loaded with nobody out in the 10th, and they had bases loaded with nobody out in the 11th. Tied 1-1, and they didn't score in the 9th, 10th, or 11th. How do you, I mean, it's just flat out. So finally, the Yankees score 1 in the top of the 12th on the Mike Stanton return to Miami game. You know, the Yankees score 1, go up 2-1. Here comes Aroldis Chapman for the save and everything. Walks the first guy, goes 2-0 on the second guy, which is the other thing I wouldn't.
And he swung. Please don't tell me he swung at 2-0.
2-0, and on ball 2, high and outside, 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Aroldis Chapman. You notice anything sound weird about that? The 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's low.
Low.
He was throwing 97, 98, 95,
About 105.
97. Fastest he got was 98, and his last one was 95. And he throws it, and he looks over at the dugout and does this. The trainer came out, looked at his arm, and off he walked. So now you got a guy that takes about another 45 minutes to warm up, to get ready because it's due to an injury.
Right.
So he comes out there. He's got a 2-0 count with the guy at first base. He is the winning run. The guy at first is, what used to happen to lay down the sack bunt or let the dude walk you?
Please
So
tell
what
me.
happens on the 2-0 pitch?
Please tell me he didn't swing, hit a ground ball into a double play.
No.
Okay,
He
good.
swung at a breaking ball in the dirt that would have been 3-0, and then he was 2-1. Then he swung at a fastball down and away, and then he looked at a fastball on the outer corner for the first out. The next guy popped out, and then the game was, I don't know what, I got so mad I turned it off right then. But my point is, my point is serious. You should not allow games against the Marlins in September. We're still in August, so we'll give it 5 more days. But in September, games against the Marlins should not count in the standings.
Well, how do you? I mean, we're
Well, what about the other teams? What about Texas? What about Baltimore? They're in bottom place.
They're not the Marlins. The Marlins have, especially the Yankees, because I'll tell you what, I bet you after that game, 12 innings, the Yankees win 2-1.
Right.
I bet you the president of the club, Derek Jeter, came down to the dugout and he's high-fiving Don Mattingly, the manager. Good job, great job. We got the Yankees right back up there, because if we'd have beat them tonight, there's a chance they would have fallen, 2.5 games the lead. I bet you the higher-ups in the Marlins offices were quite happy with the
So
conspiracy.
are you saying that...
I said it 6 months ago.
We did.
Yeah. Derek Jeter's retired.
Don Mattingly and Don Mattingly.
Yeah, still helping the Yankees win.
Good friends. Here's the question. Though. We got 3 more minutes. I get the rant that the Marlins shouldn't do that, but you made the point. Okay.
I was just joking about those games not counting in the standings.
Well, no, you should be serious. I mean, I think that's a good point. I think they shouldn't.
Well, it helps the Braves and Phillies here.
Yeah, if we play them, if the Braves play them, yes, they should count.
The Braves and Phillies,
if the Phillies play them, they shouldn't count.
They're going to each get a few Marlin games over the next month.
But the point is, we've talked about it before, that baseball has lost its way. It's lost its way. I mean, when they left, was it 3, 6, 8 guys on base
with nobody
out.
Couldn't score.
And couldn't score in the 9th, 10th, or 11th inning.
And you want to know, I bet you out of the 3, 6, 9 outs, 6 of them were strikeouts.
And how was John Manglund fired immediately following the game? Come on, man. You had 8 chances to score 1 run.
Because it's Jeter that fires him.
I know.
He's not going to fire him.
No.
But the thing is, at some point, okay, you just lay down a bunt with the bases loaded and just do the sacrifice.
Do something. And
score
and it's
on
funny because
on
the
a
dude's
suicide squeeze.
I was actually watching the game, and then I was actually watching it twice because it was kind of interesting. There was another game I kind of was going on, and you know how MLB Network does the split screens, and they're talking over it, and whatnot. And my highlight last night was Pedro Martinez just ripping on the Yankees. They have no heart. He goes, for the last month, they've just been playing like a team that has no idea where they are in the standings, and they don't want to win, with his accent, which is so good. And he's so sincere with what he's saying. And I'm watching the game, and the Yankees are doing the same thing. But
everybody has to try to hit a home run because nobody can bunt. Nobody can hit a line drive.
But the Yankees were trying to hit a home run and win the game. The Marlins were told, don't hit a home run or else you might win the game.
Dude, okay, this is just frustrating for me as a former player. It's frustrating that you got a guy on third base with less than 2 outs and you can't find a fastball to elevate.
Less than 1 out.
Either way, to get a fastball to elevate, to hit a fly ball to the outfield, to score a sac fly and win the game. You're a major league hitter. You're a major league hitter.
Well, here's the most fascinating thing, and is
get it out.
One, the pitchers can't throw strikes.
Why do you swing?
That's the other part. The pitchers can't throw strikes. And I don't know what it is, but Chapman went out there, and I know he's injured or whatever, but he threw like 6 balls out of 7 pitches.
First pitch, 2-0.
Every guy.
Why are you
Every
swinging?
Guy.
2-0.
I totally agree.
Why, if you're the manager, if you're Mattingly, why aren't you putting down the sign? If you swing at this pitch, you're going to single A.
Because you can't use the Marlins as an example, dude.
But
Not when they're
everybody's
playing
that
the
way.
Yankees.
Every
Okay, but you can't do
team,
it because they're
every
doing it on
team plays that way.
purpose. They're doing it on
Every
purpose.
team plays that way
The
these
Marlins are
days.
doing it
If
on
you
purpose.
can't hit a home
And
run, you're
then
going to strike out.
Bob's little thing, and we're going to give Bob the last 3 seconds.
No,
here.
we're going to go
Time's
next.
up. We'll do that for next.
We'll be right back for the
The
second part.
broadcasters of that game. I don't know what the Marlins are doing, but the 3 of us could do a much better job.
Yes.
We'll be back.